Hi, my name's Chris Watkin. This is London Property TV. Roll those titles. In this week's episode of the London Property TV, we talk about energy performance certificates on property, and we go and see Duncan in Pimlico and find out why it's such a fascinating place to live, work and invest in. This week's article of the London property market talks about how the rules changed on energy performance certificates for rental properties and how it could get you in hot water if you're not the right side of the law. Hi, it's Chris Watkin from London Property TV, and this week I want to talk about something really important about the London property market and, more importantly, the rental property market. From April 2018, 1 in 11 private rented properties in London will be illegal to rent out. This is really important for you landlords because you could be fined up to £4,000, and tenants as well. Listen in and find out what it's all about. I don't know about you, but I seem to be spending more and more each year on my electricity and gas bills. Over 4.4% of Londoners' income goes on gas and electric, and those in the lower 10% of income bracket, over 9% of their income goes on gas and electric. So if you're renting a property, you need to know that your property is at the best energy performance so you don't have to pay so much for your gas and electric. In 2007, government brought in new legislation regarding the energy performance of all properties, and every property that either came on the market for sale or for rent needed what was called an energy performance certificate. It's kind of like those washing machine ratings but for houses, and you get a grading between A and G. The interesting thing is this: from April 2018, if your property is an F or a G, it will be illegal to rent out. And if you're a landlord, you'll be fined £4,000. So, if you are a landlord with a property F and G, what does that exactly mean to you? Well, quite often it means really small things that you need to do to get that property up to a minimum grade of E. Quite often it's things like seals around doors. It's sorting out insulation in the roof, which can cost a matter of a few £100s, and quite often there's grants out there to enable you to do it, so it doesn't cost you a penny to do. Splitting London into various different postcodes, let's go to the north. And in the NW postcode, there are 65,300 privately rented properties, of which 6,780 are in the F and G range. That means 1 in 10 privately rented properties in the NW postcode will be illegal from April 2018. Next up, let's go over to the Queen Vic. In the E postcode, there are 11,195 privately rented properties, of which 9,709, that's 1 in 11 and a half, again, will be illegal. Let's go to south of the river, you posh people. Starting off in the SE postcode, 96,300 privately rented properties, of which over 10,800, 1 in 9, will be illegal. Finally, let's go really posh to the SW postcodes. Of the 121,450 privately rented properties in the SW postcode, an absolutely massive 1 in 8, or 13,800, will be illegal from April 2018. So, if you are a landlord of a property in London, the first thing you need to be doing is downloading a copy of your EPC. It's really easy to do, it doesn't cost you a penny to do. You see the web address here, you put your address in and your postcode, and for free you get a copy of your energy performance certificate. Fascinating stuff there when it comes to energy performance certificates. Let's now move on and go and talk to Duncan in Pimlico about the Pimlico property market. This week I'm in the posh part of London, Pimlico, which is the bit just below Westminster and near Victoria train station, and it is a really posh round here. And I'm with my very good friend Duncan Crossley. Hi Duncan.
I don't know if I qualify as posh, Chris, but I'll do my best. I'm
sure you are posh where you come from, Northern Ireland. Duncan, talk to me about Pimlico. What's the market like? I've been walking down the streets, and to be honest with you, it's just 3-4 story buildings with columns. It's gorgeous. Talk to me.
The stucco fronted buildings really give Pimlico that sort of Peter Pan classical sort of feel. It's one of the reasons why people love the period property round here. They also love the centrality, which you mentioned in your intro, because they're on direct tube lines to the heart of London. They're very close to the heart of London here. They're also close to the city, the West End, where the professionals who live here.
Because it doesn't feel like you're in the centre here. It's like a little village, isn't it?
It has got a villagey feel, although of course we are one of a number of very nice villages round here. We're just down the road from Chelsea. We're very close, of course, to Belgravia and Knightsbridge, and Pimlico is the sort of more affordable side of those prime areas. So while we're not prime, we definitely consider ourselves central, and that of course means, you know, historically we've offered better value for money. So of course you do get a lot of young professionals round here, you do get a lot of families round here, and of course they used to come from all across Britain, now they come from all across the world.
So are we talking more home ownership or more renting? I mean, obviously London does have a higher percentage of renting, but what's the sort of mix around here?
I think it's the typical London mix. It's basically a third social housing, a third private rental sector, a third home ownership. But of course the story of London over the last number of decades, since buy-to-let came in the 1990s, is that growth of the private rental sector, aided by the affordability of buy-to-let mortgages, and also of course the Housing Act allowing assured short-hold tenancies.
So what do you get many landlords buying in the Pimlico area, and what do they tend to buy? People
here who are looking to invest, the best value for them, of course, is either a 1 or a 2 bed property. But given the sort of price inflation, the capital growth we've had, now there's a lot of people who would be long-term holders here, who a lot of my clients would be people who have owned for a long time, because of course Pimlico has been one of those areas on the up for a very long time now. So people looking to get in at this stage, it is an expensive buy-to-let area compared to others, but it still has got massive growth potential, especially with across the river we've got the Nine Elms development. Up just to the north of us there's the massive revitalisation of the Victoria area going on, and so people still can get great capital growth here, but also will get a very good rent compared to, say, some of the more prime areas around us. If we're talking yields, Chris, return on investment, Pimlico, I'll just refer to my notes so I don't get the stats wrong for you. So Pimlico is 3.5% yield.
That's not bad.
That's not bad, because actually the central London average is about 3.4%. And if we were to go to prime London, if we were to go to areas like Belgravia, Knightsbridge or Chelsea, you'd be talking about 2.78%.
Even less. Even less.
And those yields, of course, they are going down every year, because of course the capital growth is happening every year. So you can't get both.
What sort of capital growth have you experienced over the last few years? Have you got any numbers for that?
I do. So for example, in about the last 5 years, the average sort of flat price is up about 36%.
Wow. Which
on a price per square foot basis is about £317 more now than it would be. And I would sort of say to you, Pimlico is a lot more about its apartments and flats than it is about houses. So that would be the relevant figure for most people who are either owning here already or alternatively are thinking of investing.
And 1 beds or 2 beds?
Both, nearly equally as popular. So for example, if we were to look at what's renting at the minute, you would sort of find that it's about 40% 2 beds, 37% 1 beds, and that would, those are the popular choices. And I suppose Pimlico has always had that reputation for sort of slightly smaller unit sizes. We're not talking about this being a sort of area for your 3 bed sharers. This is very much your 1, 2 beds. It's going to be attractive to single professionals, couples. Maybe you're looking for a bit more space, that 2nd bedroom, for guest room, nursery, study, whatever their reason is.
Lovely. Thank you, Duncan. You've been absolutely
very welcome.
Star.
Nice to see you.
Well, that's maybe a bit peckish. Let's go to a deli in Pimlico. Well, here I am at Guy's coffee shop, famous Italian deli coffee shop. Guy, what makes Pimlico so brilliant?
First of all, cheers.
Cheers, mate.
First of all, is the people that make it so special. They're very nice people around here. They're all lovely. They got it in my heart since I moved here 15 years ago. So we've always been looking after this shop. So people is very important in Pimico. A sense of community over here, really, and a friendly child. Everybody's perfect.
So, what is your shop? Italian coffee shop or deli or a bit of everything?
It's an Italian deli. We obviously specialize in coffee and product that come straight from Italy.
Really good stuff, mate. It's good stuff. So what makes, do you live in Pimlico yourself?
I do, yes. I love Pimlico because it's well connected to central London, but it's in the meantime it's also nice and peace and quiet as well, if you want to escape from the madness of London. So, and it's extremely, the people is so friendly, they come, it's really magical.
Good stuff. So talk to me about all this olive oil and squid that I've seen. Yeah. It's amazing. Well, go on.
We try to introduce something different because in those days the big chain, obviously they have pretty much everything already packed up. Over here we try to take back the customer to a local shop, support the local people obviously, but obviously we know we have to offer something different from other shops. So that's why we start doing something different, like the squid and the coffee and lasagna and everything.
What, just like Mama used to make
exactly, it? Exactly, just like Mama used to make it. Pretty much.
Good stuff, cheers mate. Well, we can't finish a meal without some cheese, and one of London's most famous cheese shops is in Pimlico. Let's go and find out why they love Pimlico. Well, literally 5 minutes walk from the Queen's front door at Buckingham Palace is quite literally the very best cheese shop in the world, right here in Pimlico. Karen, you're the queen of cheese at your cheese shop, Rip and Cheese. What makes this cheese shop so different?
Well, because it is unique, because it has 550 different cheeses.
550. I've tasted half of them, and as you can tell, I was only 8 stone when I got here.
From all over Europe. So the major part is probably French and then British. So we've probably got about 200 each from Great Britain and 200 from France, and then we do Italian, Spanish.
So how long have you been in business here in this wonderful fromagerie?
In this lovely area of Pimlico, we started in March 1990. Okay. That's when we took over the premises.
So why did you open up here in Pimlico?
It was a question of somewhere very central, because we run a wholesale business which goes out to restaurants, directors' dining rooms, corporate caterers. So it was the fact that it's very central for London, and also the fact that it's just a little bit less money-wise than if we could have been in Chelsea or South Ken or somewhere like that.
Okay.
So that's why we picked this, really, because from here you can go everywhere.
So do you have, are a lot of your walking customers local then?
Mostly. They started local, and now they come from far and wide. I mean, but they all started local, the shop customers, the retail customers. The wholesale customers we already had when we started.
How would you describe Pimlico people?
Pimlico people are very varied. We've got everything. We've got the little old lady that lives in the council house down the road that just wants 6 ounces of cheese and will still ask for 6 ounces of cheese, to the smarter sets that will have lavish dinner parties and posh weddings and that will come in and not balk at spending a small fortune. I love Pimlico because it's near everything. I can swim down the road 2 minutes at the Queen Mother Sports Centre. I can shop in the market 2 minutes the other way, and I can walk everywhere, and I can be a true Westminsterite.
Excellent, thank you very much. Let's go and speak with Jackson Stopps and find out what they think of the Pimlico property market. So I went and asked Virginia from the Residents Association of Pimlico, who's the best estate agent in Pimlico, and your name came up, Harry. Why is that?
Well, I've been here for 15 years with Jackson Stopps. We like to be involved with the community. I've seen and sold, I think, most things in the area, and it's where I've got a flat here, so I put my money where my mouth is, and the rest is history, really.
Describe Pimlico to me in a sentence.
Quiet, cultured, it's convenient. It offers good bang for buck compared to our local neighbours, being Belgravia, Westminster, etc.
Why do you think it's almost like a hidden gem that nobody knows about and it's good value for money? It's so close to everything. Why is it so inexpensive in London terms?
I think in terms of its bang for buck, we offer good space for the money. The area, you've got the great locations, you've got Victoria Station, you've got Sloane Square, you've got Battersea Park, you've got the West End, and with all of that in mind, I think you buy good value.
Pimlico is one of those hidden gems in London. Let's go and find out from an architect why it's so special. Again with Tim from Fine Architecture in Pimlico. Tim, you're an architect. What makes Pimlico so different when it comes to its architecture?
I think it's the scale, the fact that it's a domestic scale. It's a small kind of version of Paris with its uniform streets. It feels comfortable, it feels residential, it feels like a little niche of an area that everyone journeys around, and therefore it's quite quiet. That's why I quite like the architecture and the feel of it. I love the architecture of Pimlico because of its scale, its small size, its intimacy, and its uniformity that gives it an elegance to it. I love Pimlico because of its scale, its size, its small local feel to it, and its neighbourhood feel. That's why I love Pimlico.
All the famous people in Pimlico go to this famous florist shop. Let's go and find out why they love Pimlico. And with Pimlico's best florists, John from Dover's. John, how long have you been a florist in Pimlico?
Well, we've lived and worked here for nearly 15 years now. Okay. We live above the shop, which is great, and yeah, it's been good. I love Pimlico because it's a real community area. You've got a lot of independent shops, you've got a good mix of people. It's a great place to run a business. It's not too busy, although we're central. You've still got nice access points. It's great. It's a really great place.
Well, I hope you enjoyed this week's episode of London Property TV. We went to Pimlico and we talked about the legalities of EPC certificates when it comes to renting out your property. Join me next week where we look at other aspects of the London property market.